Hello and welcome to another plugin tutorial. Today we're talking about Advanced Custom Menu Plus. This is the plugin made by myself. I will guide you through it. So this plugin basically lets you create advanced inventories with animatable items, lures, names, you name it. You can even animate the inventory title and stuff like that, and even placeholders. So let's just get right to it. Let's get into launching the plugin. So first of all, you need to, of course, purchase the plugin. This is a premium plugin. Is mainly the reason why I'm making this video is to advise my buyers. So the dependency that this plugin needs is Advanced Custom Item API, which is just an API that I made by myself, and I'm using it for multiple plugins, so I'm just gonna make my own library for it. It has a couple soft dependencies. You can have placeholder API to have custom placeholders. You can have Vault for economy support, and player points for point support, which because player points is its own economy. So let's get right into gameplay. So right when you start the server, you're gonna want to just do /ex, which is just the example menu that I've created here. So it's just a anvil that's animating from 4 items to 5 items, and also changing the type, I believe, from damaged to very damaged, and then just cycling through the walls and stuff like that. Everything's animatable, even the inventory title right here. There's a couple options, so let's get into the config. The config.yml, it just basic stuff here. You can just edit the messages, and there's some settings that are for some advanced users. So force update inventory is basically, it lets you animate the inventory faster, so you want really fast frames. You can do that, not really necessary. Reload delays is basically when you reload the plugin, should it also reload the delays that you created. So maybe someone has a delay of like maybe 10 million days, you just want to reset it. And then there's also disable updater. I recommend leaving it false because you can get updates right away, right when the new update is out. And that's basically the config. That's it. That's all you need. There's some files here that you should never really touch. This is the delays.properties file, which is basically a file that's generated if you have delays, but if you don't have delays, don't worry about it. It just lets you, it just holds delays. Basically, if the server shuts down, it'll hold the delay. So let's get into the bones of the plugin right here. So the example.yml was a little bit more of like someone that just got the plugin right now. It's like, oh, what can you do? So you can see they can animate the title here. This can also be just a string. You can just put this like that and it'll work the same. Frame delay, that's how rapid the between each frame should the title update from. How big the inventory should be is the rows. Oh, you can also set, there's some more advanced stuff, but I'll show you on the wiki. Commands that you can execute to open up the menu, and then right here are the rest of the items that you're going to create. So everything you create from here is going to be a unique ID, so it can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 10 million, it can be broadcast, it can be whatever you want. The slot, the inventory that you want, this can also be a placeholder. It can be either, if you want to create maybe a Java placeholder from placeholder API, you can just make it so it's like coolness that whatever we want makes that it returns a number. From there you can, well, here there's a couple that I've created by myself are random, first empty, and another one which is just a random from within a certain area. So like, let me create it here. Random and then from 2. So I'm gonna create random from 27 to 50. Again, these are numbers that must be within the amount of slots in the inventory. So there's 6 rows, there's 6 times 9, make the math there, 56 or something. The frame delay is how the delays between each frame that you're gonna create here. So other plugins, what they do is that you create the name, and you create the lore, and then you create the item, and you can animate those within. So here, you just gotta create your own frames, and that's how you do it. So each frame has, so every text file here, every text area, even the item, you can create a placeholder for it. So here the first argument is just a string of the item. It can be also the number of the item. So it can be 397 for a head. It can be whatever number that signifies an item. It can also be a text if you prefer text. And then here is the data or the durability. So if you want to create like a damaged pick, you can do that here. And the amount of the items, which right here is 4. The item is required, so that's the only thing that's required to create an actual frame. The lore can be, it has to be a string of list of strings. You can do whatever you want here. The name doesn't be required, but it does support placeholders. You can just put whatever you want there. And then you just create another unique ID here. You can even name this broadcast frame 1 and it'll work the same. You can do whatever you want, but I just put numbers there just for simplicity. At least one frame is required as well. So from here, let's just test this out. So let's test out if it'll go random and first empty. So I'm just gonna do AdvancedCustomMenu reload in the console and just ex to what happened here. What did I do? Get slot. What did I do here? Ah, you see, you cannot do an underscore. It has to be a dash. That's the only one, right? Yeah. Okay. Alright, that was my mistake. Alright. So now this should work, and you see that it does a random. It goes, oh geez, I gotta fix that. Let's just create another one. So yeah, you see how it's randomizing this slot. It's going to the first empty. It's going to the number I created. Oh, it's going to a random slot between 27 and 50, and then the first empty. So yeah, you see how it's going to a random slot in the whole inventory, and then this going to a random slot within the thing I made it go to. See? Yeah. Let's look into click handlers. Ignore the text file. That won't be out by the time you see this video. Click handlers are, you can do, if you do multiple, that means you have 2 click handlers that take either a left, has different inputs. So if you do like one requires a left click and one requires a right click, you can do that. Here I'm requiring that you left click an item. You're not shift clicking. The price of it is $10, and then the permission you need is example.savage, because people need to be savages to be able to broadcast, right? If all these pass, that's going to do these commands, which is basically broadcast whatever. These are just normal commands. In the commands modifier here, what you can do is pretty darn cool. If you go over to the click handlers on the wiki, which I'll leave down below, is basically everything you can put inside a click handler. So it can be the click type, as be a click handler can be left, right, or middle. A shift click can be true or false. Price has to be whatever price you need, but of course you need Vault and whatever economy plugin you have. You can have the price message if someone doesn't have enough money. It'll say this message if it's enabled. The amount of player points that a player needs to be able to pass the click handler, again with its own message. The permission they need, again with the permission message that they need to have, or the permission that they need before it says the permission message. If they don't have the permission, it says the message. And then the commands that will be executed. So if you put menu : in the command section of click handler, it will basically open up another menu that has the file name minus the .yml part of the file. You can also connect to a Bungie server using the Bungie : and then whatever server name you have. You can make the player execute a command as themselves. You can make the player execute a command as a console. Here you can make the player send a chat message in chat. It also supports color codes and placeholders. All these support placeholders and color codes. Here you can send a message to the player. You can broadcast a message to every player online. You can give the player an item. You can also make them execute a command as an operator. That's a loud car. You can send them a message through a JSON message. You can look at that here, how to make a JSON message. And you can also broadcast everyone a JSON message to everyone. And you can also send someone a banner. The only thing I gotta tell you about banner patterns is that the only complication here is that you just need that code right there from this website, needcoolshoes.com/banner. That's the only code you need to make an actual banner. Right, so we're back after a little time because I screwed up. Again, you won't see this when the video comes out, but yep. I'm gonna drop this video up anyway, so I'm gonna keep going. Unprofessionalism is my thing. So basically, whatever click on those weren't working, I fixed it. So now, when you click an item, and let's say it says, when you click it, when you click it, it's going to open up this menu. So when I click it, it's going to open up another menu. If I don't derp again, please work. Let me just set this to 4, or yeah, 4. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna shoot. Blech! BRB. You know what's the good part about being the developer of this plugin? If you find a bug while making the video, you can fix it. So here we go. So yeah, I fixed everything. Everything's fine. So yeah, let's get back to it. Where were we? I think we were on going from one menu to the other. So if we go over to this guy, if we click the anvil, we should now, let's put all back because I fixed that. We reload, let's do that. AdvancedCustomMenu reload. If we open up the example menu now, and we click on any item that we want, and yep, it will open up the other menu, and this item is pretty darn cool. It has some JSON on it. It plays a sound as you heard, and it also gives you a JSON message, and it shows an item. It's pretty cool. I'm going to show you the wiki now, since that's basically all you need to really know while creating an item. It's basically just a couple menu modifiers, and then the rest of the items with its own modifiers. You can have slots that have multiple slots. By the way, delays do go through slots, so if one item is clicked throughout anything, so if you... Actually, let me show you what a delay does. Let's try to spam this guy. If we try to spam this guy, see how it says, please wait another 19 seconds. If we go over to delays, now, go to delays.properties, it is going to save that. As you saw, it saved it today. And it shows that it's basically just the string of where it goes to, and the type of click handler it is, because it is per click handler. If one passes, and we add another delay to the other one will pass, but the first one won't. So it's pretty cool. It goes in the circle, you know. And then this is just the UID of the player, and then the time, in milliseconds of them that they clicked. Yeah, it's pretty simple. After that, I don't think there is much else. There's a couple more things that I'm going to add as time goes, but I won't go through it in this video. Let me guide you through the wiki now. So the wiki is very self-explanatory. It's really well versed, as I would say. The config, I showed you the menus. There's some modifiers you can also do. There's a menu item. So actually, let me show you that. I had it on another thing I had, but I accidentally removed it. There's an auto close feature. If you set it to be here at 5 seconds, let me reload, and then I should go over, was that the text file? I think if I leave it over for 5 seconds, it will close itself. Was it this one, or was it an example? Example. Okay. Over to example. Wait, 5 ticks. It's per tick. Again, I'm gonna change that thing where it shows you the positions. 5 ticks, yeah. If I go over now, if I put it 20 ticks, it will be over for a second. It's usually just like meant so you can't like, you know, AFK on the menu or something. I don't know what it's really useful for, but I can edit, so I edited it. Menu item. This guy is pretty advanced. So what we can do here is add the actual item. Let's go over to the menu item here. Alright, so right here. There's the item, the name of the item, the lore of the item. If you should give it when the player joins. The slot you should give it when they join. If clicking it, we should ignore the amount the item has. We should ignore the durability the item has. And should ignore the meta of what the item has. So basically, if you ignore all of these, it just says, is this wool? It's wool. Doesn't matter if it's 64 wool, doesn't matter if it's orange wool, and it doesn't matter if it has a different name or a different lore. So I'm going to add an item. Let's say the item is orange wool, and it gives you 10 of them. The name of this will be green wool, or something super wool. Why not? The lore will be just the test, so it'll be purple text because that's the default text. Give dash join will be true. Give dash slot. Let's make that the last slot, which is 8. And let's just ignore everything. Let's ignore meta. Let's ignore durability. I don't think I spelled durability wrong. Durability right. Nope, it is right. And ignore amount. There we go. So now if we go over to here, we just made a click thing. So now if we right click our wool, it will open up the menu. And of course, it's the auto close, so it won't really show. So now I don't have that item in my inventory. I'm actually going to delete my inventory. If I leave the server and I come right back, it will give me the item and it'll give me in the slot. It's also what it's going to do is if the people already have this item, it won't give it to them again. It will only be a one-time thing until they delete it, of course. So if I right click this, it's going to show me, of course. So now what I'm going to do is not ignore these, so I can either delete them or leave them. I'm just going to make them false. And we ignore the meta. Now we can just do reload the plugin. My computer is dumb right now. We reload it, and now only this item can open it. So now we get another piece of wool. I can show you. Let's get the same type of wool as well. So let's show that I right click it, and Jesus, I suck at coding. Maybe we reload. Yep, there we go. Reloading works. I gotta fix that as well. Right. Don't judge me. I'm really bad. Alright, and then that should be it for the menu item. Menu item is pretty cool. It basically allows you for a standalone menu lobby thing. I might add some more modifiers so you can't actually move the item or something. Alright, after that, click handlers are done for frames. We went over items. We went over menu. We just went over menus is what. Yep. And then view handlers are pretty self-explanatory. It's basically if a player has permission to view the item, if they have a certain balance in their economy, or whatever economy plugin you have, and if they have the amount of points to actually view the item. So you can put all 3 of them, you can put 2 of them, you can just put 1 or none, so the item always shows. And then let me go over a little bit more on the items. I think it is it items or is it, yeah, it's in items. So, oh, it's in frames, right. So frames is going to be your best friend in here. You want to be in this when you launch the plugin for the first time because it lets you do a lot of stuff. So here you can modify the item to have enchantments, you can have it to have lores, hide specific attributes, have a skull owner, a certain type of egg, like a creeper egg or a chicken egg or whatever kind of egg. You can have it have a specific color and have a banner pattern as I showed you earlier. And of course, all these support placeholders. I believe so. Don't mark my words, but 99% of this does support placeholders. Shut up, clock. Basically, the only thing you want to know is that enchantments, you have a page for all enchantments here. They don't have to be capitalized. You can just put whatever you want. And then colon, and then the level has to be an integer. A hide flag, I just put 63 just to hide everything. If you have like a leather cap that says it protects for like 1 or for like 1 damage, or if you have a sword and it says plus sharpness 3, you can hide that. If you have certain amounts of enchantment on the item, you can hide those too. For skull owner, you just want to add that to the item area. So basically all these, you want to add them to the frame. You want to add them to the frame right here. So if I want to add a skull owner, the moment you add skull owner right here, it's going to make the item a skull. Skull owner. So no matter what item you put down below, it's going to make that. So if you're just going to make a skull owner, just put player underscore name. It's going to give the skull of the player. Pretty cool. The egg type, you can also go here. It's basically all entity types. So creeper, skeleton underscore wither, or whatever it is. The color can be RGB, it can be hex, or it can just be the raw RGB value. It's, yeah, you can just go here for how to get those colors. Banner pattern, I went over it before. Just go over to this website and get this code. That I made that by myself. It took me time. Please use it. And yeah, that's basically all you need to know for frames. It's pretty darn cool. There's a lot of things you can add here. Basically, from here below, they're all NBT variables that are handled by the API. So if I mess up, or if you mess up, blame it yourself, okay? Apart from that, that's basically it. I hope you guys liked it. This API thing here where, well, remember that every single text file does support placeholders, so that's part of my API. And here, you can extend the API by yourself and just make your own plugin off of it. It's pretty cool. Just use my API, Advanced Custom Item Menu. It's a really long name, Advanced Custom Item API. There you go. I get it. Well, I hope you guys liked it, and yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. See you guys next time. Thank you.